start creating the box for the album, the tuxedo box, you will need two pieces which will be identical. They will be the same, and here you can see the layout and the measurements for cutting the chipboard in order to create one half of your box. So I will post a picture with this layout in the post on my blog. So please, if you need to see it once again or you want to download it, so go to the blog. The link will be in the description box down below. So let me just explain to you how to create this part, the base of the box, in the shape of the, I don't know, here is the neck and the shoulders and the body. Okay, so I will despite the fact that here are all the measurements, I would like to show you on a simple printing paper how to get this shape, because I want to make sure that you will not make mistakes in the measurements. So this is the reason why I do want to take some time and do that together with you. So as far as you can see, I already have here a rectangle with 6.5 by 6 and 3/4 of an inch. And now let's look at the template as well. By the way, this chipboard piece is 8.5 by 11 inches. It's a little bit smaller than A4 size of the printing paper. Okay, so first you find the middle here, and it will be at 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so let's do that. Now I have 3/4, 3.25 from this side, 3.25 from the right side. All right, now I need to measure 5 inches from the left and the right side from the bottom. So I'm measuring 5 and 5, and now from this point I need to measure 1.25 of an inch to the left and the right side. So it will be here and 2.5. All right, now one more thing that we need to measure is 1.25 of an inch from the top left corner and from the top right corner. Okay, so now when you hold your ruler here at this point of 1.25 of an inch, you need to measure 1.25 of an inch to, once again, the left and the right side, and we'll connect these 2 points as well as these points. Okay, so this is the area of the neck, and now you will connect this right bottom corner of the neck with a point which you marked at 5 inches, like this. So here is 5 inches, here is 1.25, 1.25, and once again I connect this point with the one on the left at 5 inches here. So this is the shape. Okay, so I will cut out everything here. One more thing that I want to pay your attention at is that here I have 4 rows of 1 inch chipboard pieces, and then I need 2 of them to be 1 inch by 2 inches, one more 1 inch by 2 5/8. These 2 pieces are 1 inch by 5 1/8 of an inch, two of these, 1.25 by 1 inch, and the longest piece that we will use is 1 inch by 6.5. So let me cut this, and then we will be able to proceed. I'm using my non-slip ruler for doing that. Okay, so here are all of the parts that we will need. So the thickness of the box when it will be assembled will be 2 inches, plus maybe a little bit more than that, because we will use a cardstock for wrapping it. And we will begin now to attach all the hinges in order to assemble the box. I'm looking now for the hinges. Don't know where I put them. Just a second. Okay, found them. So we will begin with the one which is 6.5 inches. Okay, so what you do is you fold the hinge and burnish it to reinforce the fold line. Here I'm using score tape, and this one is 3/8 of an inch. I think it's better to use the 3/8 of an inch score tape for this project specifically, but you can also use the 1.25 if you don't have this size specifically. But I think that if you will use the 1.25, you will need to add a little bit more glue here on the edges if you want a little bit how to say a more quality outcome. Okay, so now I'm attaching the hinge to the chipboard piece so that the chipboard piece doesn't overlap the fold line itself. What I mean is, when you fold the remaining flap at a straight angle to the chipboard piece, it really can be folded. So when you do that, you remove the backing from the second half of the hinge, and you put this whole tuxedo base in a standing position just up to the edge of the 1 inch strip, and then you lift the hinge from the back side. Okay, and this is once again in order to get a perfect thickness of the spacing here between the two parts. Now we will attach 2 tiny pieces here, and we will attach them in the very same manner like we did here. I take the 1.25 inch by 1 inch hinges. I remove the backing from 1/2, and here actually I will attach the whole base to the hinge in the way that my fold line will not be overlapped from the right side as well, like this. Okay, and now I will remove the backing from the second half. And I will get this tiny piece of chipboard in a standing position, and I will fold the cardstock like this. The same thing here. Pay attention that you need to kind of push this piece all the way towards yourself so that it really meets this corner here on the shoulder, let's say. Okay, this is very important. Okay, now we will attach the side pieces here on the shoulders, and for doing that we need 2 pieces of cardstock for creating the hinges, and the hinges are 2 inches by 1 inch, like the chipboard pieces themselves. And how I do that, I'm aligning this corner of chipboard with the middle point here on the hinge. And once again, pay attention that your fold line is not overlapped. Okay, so now you take this piece and you put it in a standing position at a straight corner, very, very close to this piece here. Just make sure that these 2 pieces of chipboard meet in this way. Here, you see? Okay, so I'm holding it straight and I lift the cardstock piece. Let's do the same here. The very same thing. Okay, here we have it, and now we will attach this piece here. I'm making sure that it meets the 1 1/4 inch piece of chipboard here, and I have a nice looking corner, and then I lift the hinge. Okay, now we will attach this piece, this top piece, and it needs to cover the side 1 1/4 of an inch pieces as well. There are no overhangings, if you can see that on video. I have perfect corners, but if you look at the base of the Tuxedo box and this top piece of chipboard, you will see that it's a little bit larger. It's larger indeed. This one is 2.5 and this one is 2 5/8 of an inch, and that's because we needed to add the thickness of the chipboard from both of the sides. It's 1/16 of an inch, so I've added 1/8 of an inch to the whole size of this top chipboard element. So I will attach it to the hinge first, and while I will be attaching that to the box's base, I will make sure that I center it and I have a little bit of spacing left from each of the sides. Oh, I need to pay attention that this piece needs to be in a standing position. Okay, like so. Let's make sure that everything is straight and correct, and I think yes. So the sides are what is left to finish right now. So I need 2 more hinges, which are 5 1/8 of an inch by 1 inch, and I will attach them first to the base of the Tuxedo box. And once again, when you do that, pay attention that you are centering the hinge and when everything will be assembled, the hinge will cover 1/16 of the thickness of the chipboard here at the bottom. I hope that makes sense. So now I'm putting this piece in a standing position here while I'm holding the shoulder and the bottom panel lifted like this, everything in a standing position, and then I adhere the hinge from the back side. Let's do the same here. Once again, I will align the edge of the hinge with the outer edge of this bottom piece. Still making sure that I'm not overlapping the fold line. Take your time. Don't be in a hurry here. Okay, like that. And now I remove the backing, hold two of these together, and attach this final piece on the side. Okay, now we have perfect spacings here around all the sides of the box. And in order to really connect all of these together, you will take a strip of paper which is 8 inches by 1 inch. You will apply score tape, and then you will cut these to 8 pieces which measure 1 inch by 1 inch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we will use these in order to assemble our box. Fold all of them, reinforce the fold line, burnish it. And now we do it in the following way. I remove the backing from 1/2 of the hinge, and I'm applying it like this, the same way that we've applied all of the hinges. I'm just making sure that the fold line is kind of free and the chipboard piece is not overlapping it. Now I remove the backing from the second half. I hold two of these pieces together, making sure that this one is under the top piece, and I fold the hinge. We continue with the left side, the very same way of doing that. Maybe you will need to look at your piece from this side now, or from the top. Okay, burnish, remove the backing, lift this piece, and make sure that the top piece covers this chipboard piece and you get a straight angle. No holes, no nothing, just a straight angle, like so. Now let's continue. I actually want to attach the hinges here now, in these areas. This way, one, and here, I don't know what about you. Here I have, you see that a tiny piece of paper showing, so I will cut it off. and from this side too. Just those tiny strips and pieces of paper in the process of creating our project and putting it together. So this way. Now I'm removing the backing, and once again I make sure that the 5 and 1/8 of an inch piece covers the chipboard piece, which is 2 inches, like that. Okay, and by covers I mean that this piece is below the piece which is 5 and 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so now let's do that from the right side. And I fold like this. Okay, now the bottom, for closing the bottom, I will first attach the hinges to this bottom 6.5 inch panel from both sides. Don't overlap the fold line. Okay, now I'm removing the backing, and I'm making sure that the 6.5 inch piece is under the 5 and 1/8 inch piece. In terms of forming the corner. Okay, so this is what we have so far. And 2 of the hinges which are left, we need to fold them so that the score tape is on the outside, like this. And now, while you hold it, you put it straight to the corner here, and you glue it down. The same from the right side. Like this. Form the nice corner first, and while you hold it all together, you glue down the hinge. Now we need to reinforce our structure with additional inside hinges. So here I have the inside hinges prepared, and the measurements for these are as follows. Let me tell you. Okay, 2 of the smallest measure 1 inch by 15/16 of an inch. That means that you need to cut them 1/16 of an inch shorter than 1 inch, because once again we need to bear in mind that here the thickness of the chipboard will not allow us to glue them down if they will be more than 15/16 of an inch. So you will remove the backing from both halves of this hinge, and you will stick it down here like this. Okay, burnish. One more from the right side. Okay, moving forward, we need one more, which is 2.5 inches by 1 inch, and it will be here on top. And just try first that it really fits inside, because mine is a little bit tough to put inside, so I will trim as well, just a tiny bit of it. and I will attach it here. Burnish. Now 2 more hinges, which are 2 inches by 1 inch for the so-called shoulders. One and 2. Two more, which are 5 inches by 1 inch for the sides. They will be here. One. Don't forget to burnish. Okay. Here we go. Oops. No, 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 not yet. Okay, this way. And one more, which is 6.5 inches long by 1 inch for the bottom. Like that. And once again, we have that 8 inch by 1 inch piece that we need to cut into 8 parts, which are 1 by 1 inch squares. And we will use them in order to reinforce all the connecting corners and all the connecting points of our future tuxedo box. Okay, now I can see that I also need to trim those just a little bit so that they don't stand out. Besides the level of the whole chipboard construction. Okay, so let me trim all of them here. Okay, burnish. And continue putting all of these little hinges in all the remaining corners. When you will have 2 of the little hinges left, you will fold them not with the score tape facing outside, but with the score tape facing inside, like this. And that's because they will be glued down here in these areas, okay, like that. Okay, one and the last one. Here, you make the corners meet first, and then you lift it and glue it down. Okay, the second half of the box, and as you can see, the top edges here are also covered with cardstock. For doing that, you will need several additional hinges, and you will make them as follows. You will take a strip of cardstock, which is 12 inches by 1 inch. It looks the same now like the rest of the hinges that we've used. And then you will take the ruler and on the long side you will make several marks at 1¼ inch. Let me see. Yeah, here I've already made the marks, so I will tell you where they need to be. At 1¼ inch, at 3�3/8 inch, 4�3/4, 7¼ 8�5/8 inch, and the last one is at 10�3/4 inch. Okay, and if you can see those tiny marks here, you will need now to cut out the notches, which will be about 1/8 inch away from that middle pencil mark that you've created. So you will start at 1/8 inch away from the left side of that pencil mark, and you will cut towards the middle, but not all the way till the fold line. If the fold line is here in the middle, the black color, you can see. Now I'm cutting from the right side too, starting about 1/8 inch away from the tiny pencil mark. So basically this is what we need to cut out. These are the notches that we need to cut out along the hinge that we have. Okay, so let me do that, and we will need to cut them out on the second half of the hinge as well. But in order not to make the marks once again, because it's tiring, we will use the existing marks as the template. And now I'm going to show you how to do that, what exactly I mean by saying that. Okay, now you will fold, you will fold this hinge like this, and once again you will take your pencil, and while holding it folded, you will mark like this the areas where you will need to start the cutting, from this side and from this side of the notch, this side and this side, here and here, and also here and here. Okay, so now let's cut them out once again, and pay attention that you are not cutting all the way till the fold line, that you leave some spacing there. And for doing that, you might want to use your sharpest knives with very sharp edges, in order to control that distance that you need to get to, in order not to cut the middle fold line. Okay, and we continue. Now you remove the backing from the middle section of the hinge here, okay, in order to expose the sticky part of the score tape here in the middle, and you attach your box to that hinge like this, making sure that you center it and you don't overlap the score line like that. Okay, now the next thing to do is to remove the backing from the next areas and to keep on folding our hinge and covering the sides. Okay, here I might want to cut a little bit more, but not all the way till the fold line, in order to cover the corner, the top corner. But here I think I have a problem. I moved a little bit and I couldn't make it as straight as I wanted, but you can see how I'm going to fix that. So I tore these two parts apart, and now I will cut a little bit more of the cardstock off in order to be able to fold this second half of the hinge and wrap the top edge of the box. And while I'm doing that, I'm just making sure that I have enough of cardstock to cover this corner here on the top. Okay, and I think I do. So let's do the same thing here before I remove the backing from this area. Cut a little bit more of the cardstock off in order to be able to fold the hinge on top and get a nice look here in the corner. Although I measure everything when I do the tutorial, well, sometimes mistakes are possible, and the most important thing is how we fix those mistakes. So I'm keeping on wrapping the hinge. Yeah, I think I did something wrong with the measurements, but it still allows us to finish everything and get a nice look of our project. So just pay attention where exactly I'm cutting off little excesses of paper. Okay, so here, for example, it might be too much cardstock, which I cut off, but once again, I will try to fix it. I will add a little drop of glue, and I will glue that cardstock down with the wet glue and not necessarily score tape. Now let's make the same here. Okay, I will fold in this part first. And I will burnish on top. And now I will remove just a little bit of cardstock from this side. And I will fold this in. The secret is just not to glue anything down before you are perfectly sure that you have enough of paper covering the corners. Okay, so now you fold it. What is the funniest part here is while I did this half of the box, I used some other measurements for creating this hinge, and it was still not okay, because you can see here I have kind of large piece of chipboard showing. I had, a large piece of chipboard showing. So finally I just decided to take a Copic marker of the black color and just to paint that area which was showing. So maybe now we will still have to do that here. I'm sorry for that, but this is how we will do it. Just continue wrapping the box. Now here, let's see, I still didn't remove the backing, so we're aligning it with the score line like that. And now only before gluing down, I will trim a little bit more of cardstock. I will make sure before I remove the backing from this half that the corner is covered with the cardstock. So I will be folding this shoulder piece first, burnishing the edge, and then I will be folding this side piece. And this is what we have so far. Let's burnish, 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 and smooth the edges in places there where they need to be smoothed. Okay, here I will also cut off the excess and add a bit of liquid glue to make sure that everything is secured and looking good. Okay, here as well. Okay, and now I will just use that same black marker in the places where I have the chipboard exposed more than needed, like this. Let's see. Yeah, I think now it's okay. So we need to cover these areas as well, and for doing that we will use 2 more hinges, which are, let me tell you what's the length. It's 7.5 inches by 1 inch, of course, and you will need to make the notches on these as well. And the notches will be at 4, if I'm not mistaken, at 4 inches. Let me check that first. Yeah, at 4 inches. Okay, so from I'm making the notches here. I start to make them from the left side, 4 inches, and here at the top as well. I mark it now because it's only one notch, not several ones like we had before. So I'm cutting them out in the very same way like I explained to you earlier. One, and here I already have the pencil marks, so I'm only cutting out the notches. Okay, like this. Now when you remove the backing from 1/2 of this hinge, you will start to attach it from this corner. Okay, I mean not from here, but from the bottom corner of the box, and you will pay attention that you are not overlapping the fold line while doing that. Okay, like this. Now the second half can already be attached, second piece, like this. Now let's burnish and remove the backing from the second half of the hinge. And why can't I do that? Oop, I will start from here. Okay, like so, and like so. And I will fold it down. Fold one part first, making sure that I covered already that angle, that corner of the box. And now I will cut off the excess, which will allow me to fold the second half in. Now let's do the same here, removing the backing and starting from the corner. Starting from the corner, but in the way that will allow, I didn't do it right. I didn't remove the backing from the right part of the hinge because I need to cover the top like this. I mean the 4-inch part of the hinge should be here on the side and not here in the at the bottom. Okay, so now let's do this thing here as well, the wrapping, like this. So if you can see, there is a slight overlapping of these two hinges, which is about 1/4 of an inch, and that's okay. This is what we need. Now let's burnish. Once again, cut off a little bit of cardstock. We don't want to create extra volume where we don't need it. Now I'm burnishing and wrapping in the remaining piece. Okay, here we don't need to use the Copic in order to color in the exposed areas of the chipboard. So this is the way to do it. And the last thing which we need to do is to cover, like here, to cover the outside edge of the whole half of the box. For doing that, you will need two pieces of cardstock. This one is 1 inch by 12, and this one is 1 inch by 3 and by 2 3/8 of an inch. And you will cover these two pieces with score tape in the following way. The score tape should be close to the edges of the strips, close to the outer edges of the strip. You can use the liquid glue here as well, but we need that strip to be firmly attached around the perimeter of the whole box, and we don't want it to, you know, to unglue at some points. So that's why I'm using score tape, or if you have any other adhesive sheets of paper, it's also fine. I'm sorry, we will need 2 strips of paper which are 12 by 1 inch, and then that one piece which is 2 3/8 of an inch by 1 inch. And we will start by removing the backing from the strip that we have, and we will start actually from here, from the shoulder. Okay, I'm putting it just in that corner, and now I'm gluing it down and shaping it around the box while I'm gluing everything down. Here as well, wrap it around the corner and continue attaching it to the side. Now burnish. Okay. Now take the second piece and start from this point, wrapping and shaping around, And then at the area which will be left, you will use this piece. So you will align two pieces like this, okay, and you will wrap around, and you will finish off this half of the box.